Shalom, first and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, and worship unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakodash. Double honors unto the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations unto you, Achim, upholding the testimony of Yahweh Shai in truth and sincerity. All right, this is Hail Revisited. I say revisited because I believe I just did a lesson on it a few days ago, maybe 4 or 5 days ago. But we're going to touch up on it again for edification. All right, and of course, as the Apostle Gabar always says, repetition is the father of skill. It's a quote he often quotes in season, and it's true. Repetition is the father of skill. So it's not about what you did a week ago or a month ago, but what you do today, because it's the old saying, you don't use it, you'll lose it. That's a very true statement. So we have to constantly refine, constantly put the iron in the fire, put the gold in the fire to purify it, for the perfection of the saints. All right, so this is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 16. It says, "And moreover, I saw under the sun." So hell is not a fictitious place called Hades where you go and you see somebody with a pitchfork called Sidon. No, you're confusing the Bibles with Greek mythology. In actuality, hell, based upon context, it can be different things. It can be slavery. Slavery in the Bible is considered hell. Hell is a condition that's played out on the earth, a low state of living, a low level of life, suffering. That's considered hell. All right. Also, depending on the context, especially I believe the Hebrew word Sheol, if I'm not mistaken, which means grave. Hell also can be translated depending on where it's used. When you translate it, it means grave. So like somebody gets buried, they're put into hell, all right, which in actuality is just them being buried into a grave, all right? So this is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 16. "And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment." All right, so judgment is not where you're tormented in some place on the ground, but judgment is where you're tormented in the place above ground, all right, which is on earth. In whatever carnation that you're in, you plan out judgment, all right? It says that the wickedness was there, right? Wickedness was there, all right, which is what? On earth. It says, "In the place of righteousness," so that's supposed to be heaven, which heaven is basically in this context, those of essentially a high level of living, high living conditions, all right, prosperity. It says that iniquity was there, right? So even because ultimately that's the kingdom of heaven, if you may, is going to be a place where righteousness, no iniquity will abound. That's the importance of Yahweh Shah's sacrifice. But those who are, even us, the hopeful elect, I'll say, all right, there's still iniquity among us and our members because we have not yet been perfected. All right, we have not yet been changed. All right, even Solomon in the kingdom of Israel, which was almost as if the kingdom of heaven on earth, it was inequity in the midst. And that's what caused the departure of the rulership of Israel, all right, and ultimately us going into slavery. Now let's go to Revelations, the 20th chapter. The 14th verse. It says, now this context is going into the nuclear destruction, all right, of America. Verse 14, it says, "And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire." Wait a minute. I thought, how is death and hell cast into a lake of fire? I thought the lake of fire was hell. See? you have to understand context. You have to understand the Bible, all right? Which, when it says in death, death represented sin, all right? Which ultimately is not sin of all nations. It's talking about the sin of the Israelites, all right? And it says in hell, which is the captivity, the low level of living, the degenerate living of the Israelites. They're what? It says they were cast into the lake of fire, meaning through the nuclear destruction, all right, our captivity will be over as Israelites. And our death, physical death, and psychological and spiritual death will be over too, because Yahweh Shah will have returned and make all things new. It is written, behold, I make all things new. All right. It says, this is the second death, which is the thermonuclear fire in America. It says, verse 15, and whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. That's why it's important to repent. That's why it's important to call on the true name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Let's go to the book of Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? And Lucifer means light bearer, by the way. All right. Now, this is talking about the oligarchs, if you may, or the elites of the Edomite nation. That's Lucifer in this context. All right. It says it's not talking about Satan, which they are Satan based upon understanding who Satan is. They're the devil the Bible speaks of, because they're not the spiritual demon Satan, but they're the physical counterpart of Satan. They do the work of Satan on earth. That's why they're called the devil. That's why that's why we call them the devil. All right. It's not because, oh yeah, let's talk about some mythological thing. No, it's because the word devil, it means deceiver. Satan means slanderer. That's what they do. That's what they do. The scripture says the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which is going into Satan. All right? Which this is the elites of the Edomites, which the Edomites are the self-proclaimed white race. It says, son of the morning, all right, which is son of the morning is going into wisdom. All right, because they have wisdom. All right. It says, how art thou cut down to the ground? Cut down to the ground. Brought down low. Brought down to hell, essentially. It says, which didst weaken the nations. Who weakened the nations? The IMF, all right, the International, Monetary Fund, whatever, the International Bank, which is ruled by Edomites, these different agencies of the EU and NATO, all right, controlling, these different nations and destroying them and starving them out and bombing them. That's the devil. That's what they do. They weaken the nations. It says, verse 13, it says, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. That's what they've done with their satellites. Who is that talking about? Who ascended into heaven? Who just made the sixth branch of the U.S. military? These guys are Lucifer. They are the devil. It's not talking about, oh, this is some mystical creature, deity that goes up into heaven. Ooh, wow, booga booga. Like, no, these people don't understand the Bible. They don't understand that these things are essentially talking about what you see right before you. All right, it's talking about their satellites. It's talking about their arsenal that they've put up into the skies. All right. It said, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God, which that's what they do through the satellites. And also the stars of God represents the Israelites, if you can receive it. And so they've essentially said they're going to exalt themselves above the Israelites as well, because Israelites represents the stars of God. All right. It says, I will sit also in the mount of the congregation. All right. Which It says in the sides of the north. All right, which that's what they've done in America. All right, that coincides to America and the landmass of Israel. All right, they've done it. They've put themselves, all right, amongst the Israelite people where they're mostly concentrated in America, and put themselves on the pedestal above us. And also, they actually sit in they're controlling the landmass of the Holy Land right now. All right. It says, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. And that's what they are going to do with their AI, their satellites, and their charagma are essentially monitoring and managing everything on the earth. All right. That's what they're going to try to do. You know, being able to see everything, hear everything. I'm going to try to do. Verse 15, it says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell. Does that mean, oh, they about to go, there goes Sidon, he got a pitchfork, he about to stick it to him. Oh, they going to burn. No, it's not talking about that. It's meaning they going into slavery. It says to the sides of the pit, all right, which a pit is a trap. They're not going to be able to get out of that pit. They're going into prison. They're going into slavery. Yeah, you're going to have to do some time. They're criminals. They're criminals. They have destroyed the earth. They have committed crimes against humanity. They have been the worst example of how to live on the planet Earth of all time. So they got to pay for it. All right. Verse 16, it says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee. This is after they fall, after they're taken out of power and rulership. The nations and everybody going to look at them almost like a display in the zoo, like, wow, is that, dang, that's T-Rex. Oh, that's something. That's, oh, my goodness, Mustafa. Oh, well, there you go. Like, you know, caged up, you know, you understand? They're going down. They're about to be put down low. All right. It says, shall consider thee and saying, look upon thee, consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble? That's what the nation is going to say when they look at the Edomites in slavery. They're like, wow, like these guys are low. Dang, they had satellites in the air. Dang, they had the Israelites, the kings of the earth in slavery. The Israelites are awesome. They're ruling a whole planet now. They ruled over the Israelites. I can't believe it. I don't believe it. Wow. They're not going to believe the history books. They're going to be like, this man made the earth to tremble? They're going to read this in the history books, and they're going to be like, what? Are you serious? I don't believe it. You know, it's going to be like that. That's why they said they're going to narrowly look upon them. Like, what? They, you know, squint at them like that? Yeah, that they did. That's, yep. But they about to go into slavery. It says, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did it shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness? How did he make the world as a wilderness? Through thermonuclear missiles. All right. He's going to destroy America. All right. And also he made the earth desolate through deforestation and drought. All right. Like, look at the Lake of Chad. You know, it used to be a huge lake in California that encompassed the majority of California. Where is that lake now? All type of madness that they done. Where's the Euphrates River? Because of their legislation. Because of their conduct. Everything's poison. You can't even go into any type of river because the river is toxic. It's got salmonella and all type of toxins because they don't know how to manage the earth and they're incompetent. You're supposed to be able to swim in rivers, you drink river water, creek water. Everything's contaminated and nasty, all type of demics and stuff because these guys are idiots. Then they say, oh, well, we did it on purpose, Bill. We trying to, well, you still stupid. You acting like, oh, yeah, like you ain't stupid. You are stupid. You destroyed the earth. You imbecile. It's like you get upset. These guys, they done destroyed the earth. I can't get mad at that. These people get mad at everything else. But you can't get mad at these assholes that have destroyed the earth and about to try to depopulate everybody and destroy everything. Anyway, that's why you're going into slavery. So we're not going to get too upset because we know the end of the matter. All right. It says that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners, which are the Israelites. You didn't open the house of the Israelites. We in captivity. You just like, we're going to put y'all in slavery. We're going to exterminate you. Yep, that's what they said. But then they're going to be in the zoo exhibition in slavery. And that's going to be their hell. All right, so that, Shalom. Shalom.